Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Dan. So for the month of October, as promised, I'll be doing nothing but Halloween stuff. Horror movies, horror stories, whatever the case may be. Well, granted, I probably would have done this anyway because, well, I like Halloween. I like the genre of horror. So I would have eventually talked about this sooner or later to begin with. Since this is Halloween, I use it as an excuse. Halloween with the new Addams Family. So that's the film I'll be talking about today because, well, might as well, I guess. Because, well, for one, I've always liked the Addams Family. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but this is the Addams Family we're talking about here, so it's okay though. I don't mind. And technically speaking, this is a television movie, but that's fine because, for one, I've spoken about television movies before. A certain production that was specifically made to be released for television. So nothing new here. So I just thought, well, might as well. I've talked about these before, so why stop now? And he does give me an excuse to talk about the Addams Family and Halloween during the month of October. Whatever. Of course, as always, let's just get into the plot, shall we? Because things get weird, of course. Anyway, without further ado, let's just continue, shall we? So, okay. So we get to see that Gorman's brother is staying with the family, while Gomez must travel to this place. And while Gomez believes he is traveling to this convention, in reality he has been lured off by the crooks who have bugged the house in order to steal the family's fortune. Of course, Halloween is around, of course, and yeah, it's going to be used as a setting for that kind of a thing, quite obviously. Yeah, we see all the characters that we see from TV show, of course, and this is what the movie's version of that, so to speak. That's fine though. Anyway, in this movie, as the family prepares for their annual Halloween party, burglars spy on the mansion and they attempt to steal the Ames family's fortune. Yes, they're incredibly greedy in that regard. So yes, there are these individuals, they are criminals, quite obviously, and they have to be stopped, of course. There's also this whole thing with this witch doctor, of course, that comes into play and whatnot. So yeah, things get rather insane, as you might expect when it comes to this kind of a thing. That's fine. It's supposed to be weird. It's supposed to be really out there in a lot of ways. So this group of crooks, led by the boss, want to pretty much infiltrate the Ames family home and steal their fortune some kind of way by luring Gomez somewhere away to this place far away. On that pretext, I guess you can say. But yes, that's pretty much the idea here. And that's kind of the idea when it comes to this kind of a adventure, of course. So yeah, and this is definitely, yeah, it was shot in color, of course. And yeah, that's fine. I don't mind it. Yes, of course, it's a very low budget type of a movie, and that's fine. I guess that's a good thing there. I do like the way this is done. It does have some feel to it, I guess. I do like the idea. Of course, it does make sense to tie it together with Halloween for the obvious reasons. So there's that. Yes, of course, like I was saying a moment ago. Yes, quite clearly, the the production isn't exactly super high up there and whatnot. But personally speaking, I don't mind it really because I've watched a lot of low budget stuff anyway, so this is nothing new for me. So of course I'm going to be watching this kind of thing and reviewing it. And I didn't think it would hurt to go and do something like this. I thought this would be a definitely good idea to revisit this franchise in one way or another. And yeah, this is definitely one of these movies I've been meaning to talk about. Yes, I've covered many films surrounding these characters anyway. So why would this make an exception in this case. And I thought this would be a good idea to revisit the franchise when it comes to the movies. And that's the thing, though. I reviewed the movies before, and this is just one of these movies from the franchise I've been meaning to talk about. So it just took me a while to get to it. And just thought, might as well just review it since, again, this is the month of October after all. Might as well use it as an excuse, right? And that's the case here. But anyway, so yes, it's definitely one of these types of movies I had to cover to begin with. I definitely thought this was a pretty good watch for Halloween kind of a thing. So yeah, it's definitely something I wanted to discuss. There are moments I want to talk about when it comes to story, but I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to spoil anything really, come to think about it. But it's definitely worth a watch. I liked it. I like for what this this TV movie was trying to do, of course. And I mean, okay, yes, obviously, this was an attempt to pretty much kind of recapture the spirit of the Addams Family in a lot of ways. That's fine, I guess you can say. And yes, quite obviously, this is definitely. I know I already said this, but yes, obviously, this is low budget, and it shows. I cannot stress that enough. It really, really shows. So I don't expect anything here that's really fancy and super high tech like a lot of the recent movies that's out nowadays. It's not one of those kinds of movies. Okay, it really is far from it, of course. And this was definitely one like a pilot movie that was an attempt to revive the original series in 1977. By the way, folks, nearly all the cast members returned, and a few young children would come in, like Wednesday Jr. and Pugsy Jr. and whatnot, that were also added. But still, there was some things that were tweaked up, of course, when it comes to the stage. It may not look exactly like the original uh, TV show House, I guess, from the 60s, of course. But yes, there was definitely uh, something to be said here. I do like this the story. Again, all things considered, it's fine. Quite obviously, I thought this was definitely a good way to spend Halloween. You want to watch this kind of a thing, and yeah, I thought this was definitely a good thing. I like what was done here. So all in all, I thought this was definitely a solid chance to see these characters again, even though it's in color, but that's fine. I thought this was a good way to see these characters again because might as well. I thought this was a pretty solid movie overall. I thought this was fine the way it was. I mean, could have been improved upon. Sure, I can say that. I'm not going to argue that here. Against it, I mean. I'm not going to argue against that. Yeah, there are certain things that could have been improved, sure. But as a whole, I didn't hate it or anything. I thought it was quite enjoyable, all things considered, quite obviously. It has its moments. It's pretty weird. It's pretty crazy. It might be bizarre, but hey, whatever. It's part of the charm when it comes to these type of characters. But the weird humor and overall acting is pretty solid. The acting wasn't too bad. Again, all things considered. I like the acting and whatnot. It's pretty well solid for what it's worth. I guess for what it's worth. So I'll give this an overall rating of a 6.8 out of 10. It gets a 6.8 out of 10 from me. So as always, thanks for watching. See ya until next time.